You are listening to the Student Report Podcast, Episode 4, with Pan Asia Science teacher Gurcan Akkus.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the 4th episode of the Student Report Podcast. Today is November 27th, 2019. Today should hopefully be the first episode with better audio quality. And today is also different in another way that today we don't have a student, but we have a teacher. He is one of our science teachers and a teacher that I personally respect. Please welcome teacher Gurcan Akkus. Welcome.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hello.
So we are in the Maker Lab today instead of the library.
Yes.
Could you talk a little bit about what it is and why
it is Makerspace? Normally, actually, there is no specific setup for the Makerspace, but the general definition or maybe description, what we can say is Makerspace is the space like collaborative work area. Students or teachers, or maybe if it is in public area, people are getting together here, or maybe alone, depend on their purpose, what they want to make or create something, or without even purpose, if they are just want to explore something here, and they are coming this room and then trying to make something. So if we come to maybe a little bit specific in the school area makerspace, that is mostly actually with purpose, because students are mostly having projects, or maybe they are having some club, or maybe Olympiads, or maybe competitions. Yeah. So depend on the purposes. They are coming and with different tools in the makerspace, using maybe some robotic tools or some electronic devices. So they're just trying to accomplish their task here, whatever they need.
Now, is it a new thing in Thailand particularly? I know it's a thing in...
Actually, when I researched this one, because we have established the Makerspace room in our school last year. So when I research about Makerspace, how to start from scratch and what to do, and the first thing actually Europe is actually started this Makerspace before than us in Far East and in Pacific area. So, but of course there are so many countries already started this one, especially in Singapore, Hong Kong, and actually, we are not really late in Thailand if we just talk about, in our country. So, but what I can say, when I look at, other international schools, we have not very big, but we have actually very useful and very, rich of maybe materials makerspace, because most of the schools, when I visited or see their, makerspace, they have general equipments and maybe tools, but not much maybe 3D printer or laser cutter or maybe other hands-on, the tools to, make the job easier. But I think we are a little bit advanced. But now, most of the people and most of the teachers, students, educators now starting this one, because it really helps and contributing a lot to the education.
Now, what do we actually have now in the room?
In the room, we have a general tool. We call that pegboard. We have general tools like drill and some other screwdrivers, pliers, and some other extra. So many tools there, and they are like general purpose. Actually, it is there, and then the pegboard is actually giving also another encouragement to the students and teachers when they get the room, because You can see all the things are there.
Right.
Yeah. And it makes a little bit, giving encouragement. And following corner, we have laser cutter. It's actually one of my favorite one because it's quite useful if you want to make something easier and faster. It's like kind of quick machine because it makes very, very, very fast. And we have 3D printer. 3D printer projects are also, 3D printer is very useful as well because you can make a lot of things with 3D printer. And what I can say also about 3D printer, it is environment friendly. Of course, what filaments are you are using, what material are you using, but mostly we are using PLA or ABS. They are the most actually now quality plastic materials, and they are non-toxic. So we are actually not harming the environment, I can say now. And following tables, we have a wood workshop area. We have a wood lathe machine, sanding machine, table drill, and table jigsaw.
So those things, they're for the smaller grades and they're kind of small. Do you have plans to get bigger ones for general purposes?
Yes, actually our plan is a little bit, of course, for equipment base and also educational base, because we are just thinking about, we have to think about here not only to make something, because our aim is not to have tools and then put them and then like a showroom. Our main idea and the goal is how can we integrate it to the education. And because
primary is having class in here, right? Their design class.
Yes, in IT design class and also MYP. Depend, of course, if they need to use, because they are just like learning something in MATLAB, and after that they are just like doing application here. If they do some designing something, the makerspace shouldn't be like a showroom, because it must meet with the objective of this, the subjects, what teachers are teaching in the school, because the main goal is to gain students' critical thinking for the future, because we need critical thinkers for the future world, not only memorizing something and then maybe passing the test. Because for the how can we save Earth? Because there are so many now campaigns. What can we do for the Earth? This cannot be actually achieved by the passing the test or maybe your traditional teaching method way. So we have to let them understand in by doing something, or maybe doing maybe real the problems. So it could be done only by experimenting something or maybe trying something. So they are doing some models, maybe sometimes just model, or sometimes prototype. The one is working model for before the real product. So this would help the kids maybe to maybe achieve in the future for their community, country, and for the world. And what I know, how did we start actually this one, and then what is our plan for the next? Actually, to spread this one not only for secondary level, primary level, also KG level, one of the important level. Because when I researched before, around five years ago, in Singapore, some schools were doing 3D printed toys with the KG students, because kids are designing and just simple toy with their own child view and child world, the imagination. And after that, they are just printing in the 3D printer. That's actually really important because today some people are doing everything for us, but we are just like kind of consumer. We are only using it. So what we can do? For example, maybe everyone is just like, thinking this one. So there's a global warming, and what can I do? Or am I the one who like hero, and then am I the one who's saving the world? Yes. Every individual actually contributing something, and then that would make, the big action at the end. So if we believe this, so actually, or if we support this idea, I believe we will have really better world in the future, and we will have like, good planet Earth in the future. That's why we should actually give opportunities to the students. That's why we have to make more things. Actually, I forgot a while ago while I am explaining something. We just add another machine here, sewing machine. Maybe it is one of the another. Maybe when you see that one in the Makerspace, so sewing machine, what's the relationship with sewing machine in the Makerspace? Right. Sometimes, people are asking, but it's one of the important thing, because Makerspace is not only you are doing 3D thing or maybe cutting wood or making some designs. That's also another way of like maybe making new design of clothes or new design of fabric maybe.
Some people know how to fix their house when it falls down, but even when when a button falls off, they don't know how to fix it.
Yes, that's simple thing maybe. Actually, that again, that's not our main goal, but we are trying to let students to have like alternative, solution in their life and problem solving skills. Actually, these are the main goal why we have Makerspace, because critical thinking, problem solving skills, and most of the time collaborative work. Because example, one airplane or car, it's not only done by one person. There is a team, and the teamwork is actually doing every part, and then every different maybe field, working engine, interior design, outside design, and all of them are actually done by different people. And at the end, you see the whole part is actually the product of the teamwork.
I mean, in theory, it sounds all good, but you've been talking a lot for the primary.
Yes.
What do you think? Because our design class, as I experienced as a middle school student, we had not been using this in our curriculum at all. So,
yes,
is there any plan to?
Yeah, actually, it is taking time to integrate the curriculum, because now we are step by step. We are just integrating MYP design classes, but as I mentioned, that this is not only for specific subjects. It could be, Makerspace could be used for any other purposes. Even if you have science project or science maybe activity in your maybe class, or math class, math activity, math projects, Thai class, maybe Thai projects. Because
we had International Day and people used it.
Actually, that time I was very happy to see students here and some teachers also here. That's the actual example why we are having Makerspace, because in International Day, every teacher, every student, they are coming here. They came here and they try to make their they're trying to make their own best, design for their booth. And they use machines here, they use 3D printer, and they use laser cutter. So actually, it's one of the general purposes. But what I'm saying also, we have to integrate it to the maybe objectives, main objectives of each subject. Like if you can prepare the lesson, if teacher can prepare the lesson, meet with the objectives and using some of the things here, doesn't matter what subject is that, it could be English. So Makerspace is open for all.
So you think, like, what was the time you think it was the most useful for students? Yeah.
I think the most productive time is after lunch, and could be also after school if they have like opportunity, maybe if they're not using school van, or maybe if they have time after school. That's actually, or if they request weekend. So it's also every Saturday. Makerspace is open for our students.
Has
and
many
teachers.
students asked?
Yes. There are some students are asking, can we come on Saturday and then to use for something or projects. So our Makerspace is open every Saturday, as long as if there is no any holiday or maybe events. So students are actually free to have requests.
To end off, do you have anything to encourage the students to, come here and use all the equipment that we have?
Yes, actually, what I am doing, most of us, we are having or we are encountering different problems in our life. I don't know, maybe do you remember that even like table is moving and that the legs are not balanced on the floor. What we are doing, we are just folding the paper and then trying to find solution. Just like that, maybe actually that is one of the basic solution. We are just folding the paper and instant solution. But sometimes some problems are maybe cannot be solved in that way, instant. So maybe at that time some of the tools needed. Students can come and then whatever is the problem, because again our main aim here to think critical, the thinking way, and to move through problems, the solving skills way. If we can do that one, actually what they are doing is not really important, because we reach our goal, because they are using it, and they are actually solving the problem. Doesn't matter, maybe a hard drive not inserting the USB port is not very well, so they are making new case for that with 3D printer, or cable is not working and coming here they are just fixing it with soldering iron or maybe other things. So this kind of, you can make it many examples. These are the actually thing. And also some students might have some different hobbies, maybe. We are open for that. If they have different hobbies to maybe make it real, so we are open for that. Or if they are YouTuber, so maybe we can let them also use our Makerspace for some purposes. They can use actually, because we didn't open this room for showroom and then to show people.
Any short few words to end it off with?
Thank you for asking actually and requesting this podcast with me, because it's actually quite useful. And whatever I can do for you, and then for the next projects, and then maybe for your podcast, the things you are also always welcome to use to do. And
I think that extends to all our listeners as well.
Yes, maybe if we can make, hopefully, that's actually another plan. I was not planning to say, but I'm planning now. I want to say the next plan is actually a bigger makerspace place, maybe in the school, and then it will be kind of animation corner, kind of maybe podcast, the recording area. And actually students or teacher, we'll find all the, the requirements in one place, but it will be a big area, and they don't need to visit, another room or another section in the school to get something. So everything will be in that area, so they can maybe do whatever they want.
Thank you, Teacher Gurcan, for being our guest today, and thank you to you for listening. You can find more episodes of the podcast at thestudentreport.com/podcast. You can find our magazine issues at thestudentreport.com/issues, and you can find updates and behind-the-scene content at our Instagram at PAIS Student Report. I apologize for the long delay between the release of the third issue and the podcast episode with Nuni, but that will be going up soon. And thank you for supporting us. This is going to be the last episode of the year and possibly the last magazine issue. So thank you, and I hope I see you next year.